Alright, in this little video, I would like to share with you the continuation of the sleep detector app. So basically, again, it's a really simple app built entirely with Copilot actually. It's, quite nice. And that app, it's similar to the Whoops, the Whoops device bracelet. I used to have one, or like an Apple Watch where you would download a sleep detector app, but here it stays on the iPhone or on your Android, on the mobile phone. And when you don't use it, it assumes after a X amount of time you are asleep. Like in my case, I use my phone quite often, and generally if I don't use my phone for more than 45 minutes in a row, it means I'm probably likely to be asleep. That's of course a rough estimation, but this is what usually it happens for me. Again, what I mentioned to Copilot to do it for me, which was extremely important, is to change the inactivity threshold. So we can change from 30 minutes to 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, or 2 hours. Like if you don't use your phone that much, you can say, well, after 2 hours, if I didn't touch my phone, no activities, then you can fairly and safely assume I'm likely to be asleep. It's really hard, however, to look and to know, especially on iOS with the privacy settings. I mean, at the same time it's good, but to know if the phone is inactive. It's really hard, and I'm still working on that on the app because it's a bit buggy for now. Of course, it will be better, and I'm working hard to improve it, but it's not accurate at the moment, and I will show it to you later. So there's actually some kind of worker. It's not a worker, but there are like some detector. We can go to those files later on, and it will be fun, you will see. But first, let's continue the settings. Yeah, I need to fix an issue here with the health, the Apple Health Kit. So at the moment there are some issues too there, the Apple Health integration. And something I implemented yesterday, I didn't test it yet, so I have no idea, is the dark mode. Because again, when you're asleep or when your phone is already on dark mode, or when you are about to go and sleep, either you wake up or when you're about to go to sleep, and if you want the app to be in dark mode, is extremely important. Or if your phone has dark mode enabled, the app should be also in dark mode. So let's see this. You see we have the auto, the system one, the light one, which is the default one, and then the dark one. Oh yeah, so it looks like it's working except this one, the Apple Health integration, it's white there, but otherwise, oh, what's happening here? Why is not dark? If I do Command Control and Z, I can have the settings to reload. You see, apparently it didn't really work well. Only settings, so I will mention that. Let's go to chat. So first here, yeah, I will close that one. I will do, probably I will do, which one it is? I believe it's base, code base, yeah, my bad. So code base in, I would say currently dark mode works only on, so the screen is settings, yeah, on settings screen, but not on the other app screens. And so if we go to settings, the Apple Health is not in there. If I search Apple Health, where is that one? Oh, would it be there? Not sure. The Apple, if we go there, health integration, that will be for later to prevent the app to be confused, because the blue will not fit well on the dark. So let's do that later. That's fine there, but the most important is to have the dark mode on all of the screens to be consistent. The app when dark mode is used, the other screens need to be in dark mode as well. And here I'm on the agent mode. Some people prefer the edit mode because it would code better. I'm not sure, I tried both of them. On Cursor, my personal experience is that the edit mode is better on Cursor, but on VS Code with Copilot, I feel like the agent mode is better. At least my personal experience, for me it works better. And I will do Cloud Sonnet 4, and I will just submit this. Again, you can also speak, and you can use your computer to where you can just speak and say the prompt you want instead of typing it down. But in my case, usually I would type what I need directly with my keyboard. But now it's up to you to use a mic. That's also handy, and it will, it will be like, it's quite nice when we don't have to type. We do something else. We are eating and we just speak for our prompt. We save. Also, I would say we save. It's faster, so we save more time. But it would, from time to time, make typo as well. So there are like pros and cons of speaking, so with the speech, with the voice recognition, or by typing. But in my case, maybe a bit old school, but I prefer typing, at least for now. Let's see later in the future. So now we see the prompt, and I mean the model. So Cloud Sonnet 4 is investigating here, and it will implement what we need. You may also see that it may create a backup file, so it will duplicate the file to backup one. We would not need it anymore once everything is done, but for safety reason, Copilot sometimes create a backup file. After you can just delete it, but it will like do sleep context.tsx.back, for instance, back for backup, or something similar. And it would also create some testing files just for, internally for Copilot. It's not like unit tests, unless you ask, of course, Copilot to create unit tests. But the test files you would see generally being created by Copilot is just for itself to test a few things. And so it will create an internal test for itself to see what implementation is the best, the most ideal one. Because, of course, there are cases where Copilot has no idea what's happening and what's the issue. So it needs to simulate that problem. It needs to create the problem for itself to understand what's the issue. And for doing so, it would create a testing file where it would simulate even a browser a little bit like what Cypress testing would do, or something similar to Cypress, a end-to-end test. Alright, so now it's not over yet actually. We still need to wait a bit, and this is why it's nice also to speak already and to prepare your next prompt. I understand people feel like speaking because you can eat, you can do something else, you can pet your cat, and it's convenient. But yeah, it's just up to anyone. The pause button here, it's also very nice because, like, imagine I'm in the train and it's my stop now. I need to close my laptop, I will not have internet, and by doing pause, I can after just resume my session after. Cursor didn't have that, so every time I didn't have internet or I had to stop, well, I would have to restart from scratch. I believe in the future Cursor will add it too. And you can see it's funny because, VS Code should be like very stable, everything, but the buttons here are not really displaying very well. Maybe it's because of how I zoom, I don't know, but it doesn't display very well. Yeah, anyways, so you see here we have an error, so it's asking me if I want to continue for Copilot to run because it has been running for a little while already. Continue has been working. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine for me. And now we just need to wait and we have to continue from there. So let's see how it goes. See, now it reads from theme context, and yeah, indeed the dark mode is coming from there, from the theme context. And yeah, great. Okay, so I think we are soon there. It's searching for the screens. Oh yeah, all of the screens, of course, because it needs to implement the dark mode everywhere on all screens, and so this is why it does this search. And of course, like the asterisk is like a bold way to look for all of the files inside of the folder, like inside of the folder screens, and with the extension TSX. Yeah, we are nearly there. Alright, so now finally it's done. Well done, nearly done. We can see it's dark, a little bit dark. It's not perfect yet, but we will continue improving it. Now I was thinking about it, and I feel it's still like, I feel like it's still a good idea to keep the blocks white for now because of the purple color. If we have them dark, the purple will not. Well, there is purple too at the bottom there. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe it's fine. But we have to see with the contrast. So contrast is an important factor. And if we look at the discussion, so it did it for all of the screens. It restarted the app as well. And that's a good progress. So again, it's not completely dark, but we'll ask this. Great. Currently, it's not completely dark, the screens. Any reasons why? For instance, the tabs, the bottom menu tabs, the blocks, the header aren't dark and currently still white. Can you ensure the app is consistent with dark but the colors, the contrast? Yeah, contrast are, but the contrast are correct. Let's see. So yeah, we want good contrast. This is very important also for Apple, for the apps when you submit it to the App Store. If the contrast is not good for accessibility, it will be a problem for like blind people, or could be also colorblind people. It might be hard, and we have to take everything into account because the app should be easy and pleasant, and it should have the same user experience for anyone, regardless how they can see and regardless the accessibility level of everybody. So now it's updating this, and we would just have to wait again. So yeah, we are close, and this is really fun. You see, like just turning a basic app that doesn't have dark mode into dark mode, it's really good. And I believe even better for health apps, like such as a sleep detector. If we don't have dark mode, it's like a bit like, okay, it's an app to sleep. We might use it when we wake up. We might use it just before to go to bed, and it doesn't have dark mode. It might tire our eyes to always see the light mode instead. And yeah, dark mode is always good anyway. I personally don't really use dark mode that often, but again, if someone wants to have dark mode enabled, they should be able to use all apps with dark mode, and all apps should support dark mode, should handle the dark mode. You see now, it's updating in real time actually, like it's live. And oh, that's an error, but again, normally thanks to the agent, it will understand the error and it will auto fix itself, and that's super handy. So let's just wait for this. There's just like a syntax error, something like that, and automatically the app is rebuilding itself, so you just have to wait. Health integration settings. Okay, it waits from there. Let's just wait. Exciting time. Again, like it's important to keep reading what it says, because if you don't really read, it might feel like not very important, not very relevant, but if you don't read, you might not understand why you did something and not something else. And reading Copilot, like the chat, it's still important, especially while you are waiting. I know it's tempting to do something else and to be more multitask, but still multitasking is not that great. We don't want too many context switching, task switching. So it's better to stay focused on only what you do now, otherwise we forget something you want to do in the app or whatsoever. And by reading Copilot, you will understand better the app development and the few things what to do. It's a bit like when you do pair programming with another engineer, another software engineer, the other engineer would speak loudly while doing the pair programming to explain why they do this and that and XYZ. And it's the same with Copilot. Copilot is loud, explains what it does, and it's exactly like pair programming. It's the same way. Here we still have an error, though it didn't. Let's continue. Because usually when we do continue, even though Copilot has been working for a while, when we do continue, it will finally end up finding its problem. So let's continue there and let's see where we are at. Otherwise, we have to fix the issue manually or we might ask again Copilot. Alright, so Windows is a little bit small, but I'm going to search here. So that one is not used. Is dark mode there? I wonder why on today's screen. So we have a hook. The hook is use theme, and there we have the dark mode in there. So that's super nice. And make it a little bit bigger. Alright. So let's continue there. See, we have light mode, dark mode, and auto, which is the auto one, and save thing. Oh yeah, so we save that from the settings. We save it in a local storage. Local storage, so with React Native, local storage doesn't have any expiry date. I mean, it's the same like on the browser. So on the browser, you have session storage and local storage, but you can hack the thing. Yeah, I have a blog post about it. dev.to/Pierre, then storage. Yeah, set an expiration time. Oh, I made a typo actually. And there I'm showing how I do it. So you see that's the data we want to store, and then we can simply set an expiry time here. And by doing that, it's super nice because that way, so we have the saved data. So the saved data is coming from the get item, and then we check if the current timestamp is greater or equals to the expiry time property. If so, we just automatically remove the key, and if it's not the case, we don't do anything. That's yeah, it's very convenient, and I suggest you to read this. It's exactly the way you can implement to have a expiration date. Alright, so let's see if now it will be working for the app. So there are changes here from the dark mode. So, and you can see that's really good because we want to use the constants. We don't want to hard code the HEX code, and the same here. So 10 p.m. for iOS to run the app. Now I have the app finally working, and that's fantastic. So there are a few issues, and when VS Code, when Copilot was finishing the dark mode, there was a syntax error, and I was too lazy to look where in what file. Usually it's because there's like, instead of having a curly bracket, it would replace to a square bracket. So of course it will create a syntax error in our code. Sometimes when we have a try and catch block, it would miss one curly bracket, and then again we have an error in there. So what I did actually in the prompt, very simple. Oops, I just said this one, fix syntax errors. Very simple. I wouldn't recommend to be that vague, but it did work. But I had to click on continue on Copilot because it took a very long time. I had time, so that was okay. And now we will test the dark mode to see if it's correctly set for us. There was something else I wanted to show you that we just did earlier. So in the changes, we can see some of the hard-coded HEX were replaced with this one, so like colors, cards, and so on. And actually the colors is a parameter from the function, so we actually go directly there. So we can just like out of curiosity look into what Copilot did, because it's, you know, if you're a software engineer as well, it's really nice to see like what, you know, why it did this way, and to understand better. And so we can improve our code base by asking new things. We not necessarily do it by ourselves, but by understanding, we will see potential flaws, and so we can improve them. So here you see that's the parameter, and so we pass colors as an argument here, and colors are from use theme. So the use theme is a hook, actually, a React hook, and so we can oh, it's actually from the context. Yeah, my bad. So yeah, it's from the context, and so here we would the colors. Let's quickly see where we have theme colors. So yeah, we have primary, background, and so it will swap the colors. So that's a dark theme, and that's the light theme. I like it because it's clean code. It's a good way to separate both and to store them in an object. So we have the light theme, and the other one, so the dark theme, and then we have the interface. That's really good for each of them, because the structure of the object is the same with the same types, because we use, once again we use TypeScript. And so let's see here, if I go to settings, if I would change from auto is light mode at the moment in my simulator, I will close that one. That's an issue due to the Apple Health, but we will fix that one in another video. And here dark mode, okay, previously it was only the settings view, the settings screen, and now you can see it's everywhere actually. That's really fantastic, and I love that. It looks really good. We have the daily sleep tip, and let's see if actually it's random or not. If you can sleep, let's see. If you can't sleep, put a tape on your mouth or something like this. Yeah, that's all of the tips. Try putting tape. It can't work on your to encourage nasal breathing. Yes, that's a real tip actually. Give a try putting a not just a tape, a designed tape, maybe something like that on your mouth to prevent. And there I will just I will use the previous one for the end to encourage nasal breathing. And so there we'll ask Copilot, please fix inaccuracies in the following sentence. And actually no, I will ask there, I will do Command I will paste this one, and I will press enter, because we don't have to use the agent for that. We can directly use the inline chat. So a dedicated placement tip, yeah, and give a try. I prefer, yeah, not try yet. Give a go. Give a try, yeah. That one, give a try, placing dedicated tip. Yeah, that's good. And then we can do the same with the consider background patterns to block lights. That's nice. And another one, use eye and mask. And here again, make this tip better. Let's see. Yes, we want that specific tip better. So you see, we can use Copilot not only for coding actually, and even though it's mostly for coding, like it doesn't work the same way for something else, because it's really specifically trained for the code, but we can also use it for like simple usage like this one. And it didn't do it actually. So I will try here. I will try in the agent, even though I should use the ask mode technically, but that's okay. Let's see what it will do. And so now you see I have the new tip here. That's nice. Yeah, so it sounds like it's working better and better. Sleep, awake. We can do that manually, but not too sure. Awake, yes. And if I do asleep, it will go back to the awake mode. Yeah, I'm not too sure the reason. Oh, is it pause? I will press again. Yeah, I think it was, I clicked on pause, probably. Alright, so I like that. We can already commit to the changes. We can see the changes we have done here, quite a lot actually. I'm a bit lazy, so we'll just generate a commit for everything. I like still to review them a little bit, but there are quite a lot of changes, as you can see. Many changes. So we have deported things. You see, sometimes we have a syntax error Copilot would do by mistake, by like missing a parentheses, some parentheses or a curly bracket or something like that. For next time, it's fine. Or that comment we don't really. That's okay, but like usually with AI, we can mention that in the prompt, but so that's for the commit. Yeah, okay, now I just search. It does write redundant comments. Yeah, that's fine. I will keep that comment. I will commit already this one, everything. Oh, I have to add everything first. In the staging area, I add all of the files. Let's see again. So everything is in the staging area now. Amazing. Well, that's a lot of files. And we have, how come we have, yeah, so we have screenshots. Yeah, that's a generated ones. Yeah, it's actually a lot of files we are adding here. Create an update the bit ignore for ignoring files we don't need from the code base. I will just what I will do, I will reset my commit actually, because I first want to have a relevant git ignore first, just to be sure everything it's okay and we don't commit unnecessary files, because there are a lot of things here, and like this kind of thing we don't really need, that kind of markdown file. Yeah, it's okay, but a lot of markdown files, a lot of files that dark mode implementation. Do we really need this? Not really. I can remove that. Same like background detection. Copilot likes to create this. It's funny because Cursor usually wouldn't create those kind of markdown files for the submission. I will also delete what other file? I will delete that one, and then that one as well. That one as well. Yeah, we can actually review them here too, but I will do it manually, a bit like old school, but that's okay. And I will remove that one. Does it work? Of course, if I miss the RM command, it will not work. What else? I will delete. I will delete that one. It didn't. Let's do it nearly there. I will delete that one. Yes. I will debug tools. You see, that's why we don't need it anymore. I will delete also that one, and then this one. The report as well. We don't need. They have a lot of files. So many files we don't need, but some of the markdown we might need. I'm not too sure. Implementation for the verification. No, thank you. That's not really needed. I will do a speed maybe times 1.5 for this moment now, because it's a little bit too like for you it's probably not really important, and I don't want you to be bored about what I'm doing now. So yeah, but we are nearly there. Validation settings. What's that? And it doesn't have anything. And this is a JS file. Right, empty. Let's see. It looks empty. Yeah, I will remove it. Goodbye. This one too. This one too. Let's remove all of them. Perfect. Alright, so where we are at. Still quite a few. that one I need also to delete this one. Okay, so many. Again, it's not the most efficient way I do it. I could just do it like one per one directly from the UI of VS Code. Would be faster, but yeah, at the moment I'm just doing this way. Dark mode. What else? Do we use this one? Background monitor, that we do. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, yeah. And why it doesn't, why it has a global import? Like in my case, I prefer to have the named import like this instead of a global export. So a global export, and it's always a better practice to do not do a global export, but to do a named export. And so we would do this way, especially when we do refactoring and things like this. It's better. Debug screenshot, no. Alright. Create pleasant screenshot. Okay, so where we are at here, why it's taking so long? I wonder now. And I will also, for now, remove the screenshot file because I feel like they're not really needed for now. And the screenshot is just okay, let's say. And we implement them later. Generate ultra, you see, let's do that one, the bash. Generate ultra clickbait. See, that's the issue, like with AI to create different files. But that does the same if we ask again and again. Now let's see with this one. The ultra clickbait, that's one I asked also, but we had the two previous ones, the two previous bash files we already removed for creating a screenshot, create app store screenshot.sh because it's bash, and create pleasant screenshot. Yeah. Ready for our app store success. I like it. Conversion, nice. V2. It has a V2 actually. We can try the V2 then. The V2, we do bash, and then the name of the file. Perfect. Oh, it has nothing. Okay, we'll remove it. Goodbye. Okay, so now where we are at. Actually, for security reasons, we need to be careful of what it has inside. Never trust anything. Like, it's easy to say, it's hard to do, but because usually we don't have much time, and so just do bash in the file name, but we don't know what it does. We would trust Copilot, but always be careful. Like I would say, never trust any tools if you don't really fully control. Okay. So that sounds better. How come it doesn't have much files anymore? Okay. But I wonder why it's a screen. Did we delete files we were not supposed to delete, or I'm not too sure. I will commit to this anyway. I will just press on add. Okay. So let's see, that's the one I have now, yeah. And the previous one, 20 seconds. Okay, so let's see another one. I'll check that one, what does it have inside? Oh, okay, probably. Oh, it got added here. Setting integration complete. To the screen. Let's see if it's still working correctly. Yes. At least now all files have been committed. So this name is not really, it was a mistake, but that's fine. Yeah, so we have everything in there. Amazing. And we can see the new one. Git ignore. I will start publishing the app. I will do a EAX build, and if you're interested, I will set that repository public on GitHub. So my GitHub is again, it's github.com/ph-7 and then /detect sleep, and I will make it public. And now we'll let's build it. And P for platform iOS. Perfect. So let's do that. We have done an amazing job. You see now the header and the footer is dark. Previously it wasn't, and all of the screens are dark too. If we want to, previously it wasn't. And if we go back to auto system mode or to the light mode, then everything is back to white. So that's amazing. I will publish it, and I wish you a happy coding time.